Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode in my Football Manager series. This is episode number 10, and today we are returning with a brand new season at the KCOM Stadium as we begin life in Season 2 with Hull City. Today's episode is a bumper transfer special, which I really hope you guys enjoy. Loads of signings to show you, should be a lot of fun, and also I'm going to show you pre-season, how that went, and also play our first game against Manchester City. So lots to get through today, let's just dive straight into it. Oh, it's been a while since I've done one of these season openers. If you are new to this channel, guys, believe me, you are going to spend the next 15 minutes watching me discuss every single transfer at great length and spending about 2 minutes on each. But anyway, to start the season off, we will show you the list of departures. And now, of course, you guys knew Klukas was leaving the club. He's gone to Middlesbrough on a £3 million deal. But there's been lots of other sales to report as well. Evangelo's left to Crystal Palace for £4 million. Decent midfielder, but someone I didn't really get on with too much. 30 years old now. He's on high wages and here till 2019. I didn't have plans for him this year, so I was fine letting him go. Alan McGregor was out on loan last season, but now he's came back and joined Pompey on a free transfer, so he's off to Fratton Park. And also, Maloney and Ronaldinho both retired coming the end of the season. Now, just briefly on this, some of you guys did ask if I could sign Ronaldinho on a staffing role, but he just decided to retire from football altogether, so sadly I couldn't do that. I would have liked to have had him, and funnily enough, I've had him previously as a scout before, which is kind of interesting, but he retired altogether, so that's the end of him. We also let a ton of players leave on free transfers as well, no one too noteworthy, but Alex Bruce has left the club, just in case you were wondering. Like in real life, he was probably frustrated I didn't tell him I was going to release him, but Daddy's not here to save you anymore, mate. Steve's gone, I'm in charge now, and I've got no plans to keep you here. So loads of players left to go on free transfers. James Weir went to Cardiff for £1 million. You probably won't know who this guy is. I don't even know, and he's our player. But he went to Cardiff for £1 million, and I don't think he was ever going to develop into anything too good. And also we sold two other goalkeepers as well, David Marshall and Jakupovic. Now, of course, Marshall was our backup last year, and the 32-year-old has lucked out big time. Benfica have bought him for, was it 200 grand, 250 grand? I mean, he must be loving life, man, earning 24 grand a week, now going to Lisbon at 32 years old. What a lucky man you are, David Marshall, seriously. He's gone to Benfica, totally fine with that. And Jakupovic went to Plymouth as well to 100 grand as well. Maybe not quite as lucky as Marshall, but yeah, we sold 3 of our 4 contracted goalkeepers in the summer transfer window because, of course, Jakupovic is our number 95, but, you know, metaphorically speaking, he's our number 1 and will be for years. And I've also signed a new backup goalkeeper as well. So now that's the sales out of the way. Let's move into the signings. I've made 10 new signings for Season 2, spent an awful lot of money, so let's just dive straight into it. I don't know which one to show you first, but let's just go straight to it. So I think the first signing I'll show you is the most uninspiring out of the 10 I've made. Haris Seferovic has joined on a free transfer. Not a bad striker, a Swiss 25-year-old with 37 caps for his country. Now he's valued at £6.5 million. Whenever I sign strikers, I always look for 2 key stats though, and he's missing one of them. One is off the ball, which is 16, love that, and another one is finishing, but I always like to have 15 minimum for both of these. He's only got 12 for finishing, not that great, but his physical stats are quite balanced, which is quite good. Strength is 15, which is pretty nice. Balance 17 as well. Mentally, he's not too bad. And again, he's got a 15 first touch as well. He doesn't look that bad to me. You know, as a free signing, he doesn't look that bad for me. So Seferovic joins on a free transfer. Not really a headline signing to start off with, but they get better. Although not much better. Next signing I'll show you is Daniel Ayala. First piece of business I completed, I do believe, or certainly the first signing that came in anyway. The Spanish centre-half has joined from Middlesbrough for £6 million. Now, of course, that's recently relegated Middlesbrough. He's got some really good stats, or so I think, but for some reason, my coaching staff don't seem to think he's that good, which is a bit surprising. I thought he's actually got some really decent stats, but evidently not, at least according to my coaching staff. But he's got heavy 16, marking 15, tackling 15. I talk about stats that are really important to me for a certain role. For strikers, again, it's off the ball and finishing, but for centre-backs, I always look for the magic quad. That's 15 minimum for heading, marking, tackling, and positioning. He's got 16 for heading, 15 marking, 15 tackling, and 14 positioning, so not too bad. Mentally not bad either. He's a bit slow, but he's 6'3", has 16 strength as well, and 16 for jumping, and I think he's alright. You know, I think he's a pretty decent signing. Moving on, and I'll now show you the backup goalkeeper I've bought in place of Marshall, Jakupovic, and Alan McGregor. Connor Ripley has signed for a very cheap transfer. He came in for, what was it, 800 grand? Although there's a clause that could see it get to £1.8 million. He plays 50 league games, but of course that's not going to happen, as Jakupovic is, again, figuratively speaking, our number 1. Connor Ripley, though, interesting anecdote about Connor Ripley, if you will. I was actually at Boundary Park. Now, that's Oldham Stadium in, was it January this year or maybe February, for Millwall versus Oldham, and this guy saved 2 penalties in stoppage time against Lee Gregory. I was behind the goal goal when he saved them both, and he prevented us from winning the game, and it finished 0-0. This guy was not my best friend at that moment, but I thought, do you know what? It does make me think he could be a decent goalkeeper in FMs. If I'm ever playing the game, maybe I'll pick him up. And he's actually got some alright stats. You know, reflexes 16, positioning 15, handling 16 as well, aerial reach and communication both 15 too. So the next signing I'll show you is quite an interesting one. Dimitri Fourquier has signed for the club. Now, he's a French under-21 international. He's now 24 years old though, and he's a right back who's going to be our starting right back this year. Now their elder right back has gone back to Olympiacos, and I can't even work out how I found this guy. I genuinely don't know how I found him, but I think he's alright. Now, he only cost us £1 million, which is dirt cheap. Granada clearly didn't really rate him that much, although he did get 7 assists in 36 games last year for the Spanish team. But he's pretty decent. I mean, he can be natural at both fullback positions and play all down the flank on both sides, which is really awesome. I'm a bit of a sucker for that. I love players who can play on both sides of the pitch when they're a fullback or a wide midfielder. Fourquier can do both of those roles, but he's really average. Like, his stats are really, really average. Marking 12, tackling 12. He's quite quick, 16 acceleration, 15 pace, only 13 stamina though. I like a bit higher on my fullbacks as they're always bombing up and down the pitch. And mentally, he's quite average as well. Like, there's nothing that jumps out at you with Fourquier. He's like Sam Klukas version 2. Like, there is literally nothing that jumps out at you when you look at his stats. He's so average, but I don't think he's that bad. And for £1 million, I'll take it. Valencia was sniffing around him, so clearly he can't be that bad. So the fifth signing I'll show you out of the 10 is another free transfer, and I'm sure you guys right now have got your heads in your hands the second you saw his face. Charlie Adam has joined Hull City and is here at the KCOM Stadium. Now, I'm almost certain you guys are going to be sitting there thinking, why would you do this? Why do you do these sort of things? What is wrong with you? Because I have this theme, right? Again, if you're a new viewer to the channel, I have this theme where, like, every single season I tend to sign a player who's past it and clearly past it, and I try and resurrect their glory days for the team I'm managing. And with Charlie Adam, I saw he was released by Stoke, and I thought, well, he could still do a job. Technically, he's still really decent. And to be honest, I think Charlie Adam is one of those players who has always been a little bit unfairly treated and criticised over the years. Now, I don't know whether I got a bit biased towards him, because I used to play, I've watched him play for Rangers way back in the day at Ibrox. And I've always thought Adam is a really decent little player. And when he first joined Blackpool, and when he was in his peak, I'd say probably in his final year for Blackpool, he was actually really good. In fact, he was, of course, once of Liverpool. He was signed to Liverpool. But one reason why I've always felt Adam gets unfairly criticised a bit is because when he went to Liverpool, it didn't really work out at Anfield. You know, the big move for him didn't really turn out to be anything other than, well, not exactly a terrible signing, but someone who was out of depth, if you know what I mean. But Charlie Adam, instead of being on his contract, didn't just sit in the reserves and just pick up his paycheck and say, well, sod this, you're paying me, I don't care. I think he took a pay cut to go to Stoke City. And he also got a lot more first-team football, and he showed where his heart is. He could have just sat there in the resis at Liverpool and just continued to eat into his money. But instead, he thought, no, I'm going to go elsewhere. They don't want me. I'm not going to stay here and be a drain on resources. I'm going to go get some first-team football and earn less money. So Charlie Adam always gets my respect because of that. You know, he's someone who I think was always unfairly treated. But it is true, he's not really that great anymore. But he's got some decent stats. Corners 19, which I think is amazing. Crossing 15. Like, technically, Charlie Adam's got a of a left foot, and 16 passing still as well. Mentally not that bad either. Physically a bit of a letdown. But again, still a pretty decent midfielder. He's just going to be a cover player on a 2-year contract, 20 grand a week. I don't think that's that bad. So Charlie Adams here, and again, some people are probably sitting there thinking, what is your problem? Like, why have you done this? But to me, I think Charlie Adam, he'll give us solid minutes this year. Cheap transfer, no transfer fee, just the wages. I think he'll do alright. Now, the next sign I'm going to show you guys is another player with a wand of a left foot, and a player returning to the KCOM Stadium as well. It's Robert Snodgrass. Yes, hashtag Snodback. Not quite as good as Pogback. But yeah, Snodgrass is back at the KCOM Stadium, and I got to be honest here, this one is a bit of a panic buy. Now, he's come into the club for, I think it was £4.7 million, £3.7 million, even better, after 1 year at the London Stadium. Now, of course, last year in real life, he was one of Hull's only good players in the first half of the season, and then he was seemingly inexplicably inexplicably sold to West Ham in the January transfer window. And in the game, of course, starting off with West Ham, as we started on the winter database, he didn't really do too much at the London Stadium. Didn't do too much last year. So I thought, you know what? We'll take him back to the KCOM Stadium after just 1 year in London. And he's back here at Hull City. And the next signing I'll show you is another guy returning to the KCOM Stadium. But this guy coming back on a permanent deal after he was here on loan last season. Alfred Ndiaye is back at the KCOM. And I saw a couple of comments from you guys saying you've got to get Ndiaye back for Season 2 permanently. And I agree. We needed this guy back because last season we didn't have much first team quality. Not too many players that were really, really good. But this guy was fantastic. He's a ball-winning midfielder, of course. And of course, ball-winning midfielders in today's game are so important. And he's got some unbelievable stats. Marking 15, tackling 14. But mentally and physically is where it's at. Look at these mental stats. Oh my goodness. 15 aggression, 16 anticipation, 16 bravery, composure and concentration, 14 and 15, 18 determination, 15 positioning, teamwork 16, vision 15, and work rate 19. And you think that's good. Look at his physicals. He's not too slow with 12 for acceleration and pace. And then 18 balance, 15 stamina, and 19 strength at 6'2". This guy's a man mountain, and he's joined the KCOM Stadium, joined Hull City at the KCOM Stadium on a permanent deal, and I am so pleased. We've had to give him a bumper pay increase though. He's now on a 50 grand a week deal, which is extremely high here at the KCOM Stadium, but we needed him. We needed this guy back, no doubt about it. And he only cost us £5 million as well. Villarreal clearly don't rate him at all. There is a clause though, which will see us pay an extra £5 million if he plays 50 league games, which he will. So this deal in total will cost £10 million when it's all said and done. But to be honest, I don't really mind too much. He's worth more than £10 million in my opinion. He's absolutely fantastic. And Ndiaye had to come back. Alfred back. That doesn't work. Oh, okay, so 3 more signings to show you. Which one should I show you guys first? There's 2 wingers and 1 striker. And one of these players set a new transfer record for Hull. Let's go with one of the wingers first, and I've gone and signed Jordan Ibe from Bournemouth. Yes, the former Liverpool winger that of course now plays for Bournemouth in real life. He signed at the KCOM Stadium, and of course he used to play for Wickham. Funnily enough, I saw the first ever goal he scored for Wickham when he was a very young teenager on Sky Sports News, and when he joined Liverpool I was like, see, I knew all about him when I didn't really. I just watched his goal. That's my sort of like extensive scouting knowledge of Jordan Ibe. I saw the goal he scored for Wickham on Sky Sports News and said, yep, I know all about him. I knew him before anyone else. But anyway, Jordan Ibe signed for £5 million with clauses it could reach, I think it's 13 million, which is pretty pricey, but it's unlikely he's going to hit those clauses because one is score 50 league goals, and that I use that clause quite a lot. I don't consider it cheating, but it's one of those clauses which, unless it is a striker, it's highly unlikely he's going to hit it. You know, like it's like 50 league goals. That will take a long time for anyone, right? So yeah, Jordan Ibe is in, and he's got some decent physical stats: 17 acceleration, 15 agility, 16 pace as well. Mentally, he's a bit of a letdown as well. I was surprised how low his flair was. That was quite a disappointment. And technically too, not the best. Dribbling 15, crossing 12, first touch 12, passing 12. He's not great. He's not great. And this one was one of those signings where after I confirmed it, I was like, yeah, I probably should have looked elsewhere. Now, the penultimate signing I'm going to show you guys is the club record transfer. Borja Baston has signed for the club for £15 million from recently relegated Swansea. Now, I know what you're all thinking. You've probably been thinking it throughout the entire episode so far. Why on earth did you sign this guy for £15 million? Well, one main reason was that we needed more depth in the striker role, and also I need someone that is going to play alongside Abel Hernandez and contribute in terms of scoring goals this year as well. Because last season, Hernandez was the only guy that was really a regular goal scorer. And he's got some decent stats. Finishing 16, first touch 14, heading 13, off the ball 16. Mentally not that bad. Anticipation 16, composure 15 as well. Don't know what these red arrows are about. Hate these. And physically not great, but not terrible. And 6'3" as well means he could win his fair share of headers too. So Borja Baston is in. And last season he only scored 4 goals for Swansea in 25 games. However, most of those appearances were off the bench. When he started, as you can see in the Cups, he scored 3 and 4. So my hope is that with Borja Baston is that even though he didn't set the Premier League alight last year, if this season we give him first team football, we can really make the most of this guy coming in. We can get the best out of him. So Borja Baston is in. He's not worth £15 million. That was a stupid deal, but I think he'll score some goals this year. I think he'll chip in with a few goals this year. Hernandez will still probably be our main source of goals, but I'm hoping this guy will still score quite a few as well. And again, £15 million. I know what you're thinking. It's such a bad deal, but I'm hopeful he'll prove us all wrong, myself included, and be a pretty decent pickup. Okay, so the 10th and final signing I'll show you guys is, in my opinion, the most exciting of the 10, and someone which I'm hoping you guys think is a real steal. But I guess we'll have to wait and see, because the past 2 years in real life, he's not really proved to be worth that for the club he signed for. Anyway, it is Gerard Deulofeu. Yes, Gerard Deulofeu is in. Now, if you watch my Swansea save last year, this is the type of guy that I'm hoping will be a bit like Julian Brandt in this year's save. Now, he's on a bumper, big, expensive contract on 75 grand a week on a 5-year deal. Extremely pricey with a lot of clauses in there as well. But I am extremely hopeful. Now, of course, Deulofeu, once of Barcelona, has already been capped by Spain as well. When he first joined Everton on loan, I actually thought he had a really good debut year at Goodison Park. And when he came back to Everton for £4.4 million, I was thinking Everton had got a steal there. He's a really decent player, but it's not really worked out. Last year was on loan at AC Milan. They had a future fee, but they only played him in 4 games, and 3 of those were off the bench. He didn't have any injuries or anything, so they clearly didn't value him. And my hope is, like with Jordan Ibe, Deulofeu's going to get first team football here. He'll be our main winger, and he'll develop really well. Now, physically, he's got really low stamina, which is embarrassing, with just 6, but I'm hoping that won't matter. He's got 17 acceleration, 14 agility, 15 pace. Mentally, he's got 19 for flair, which I absolutely love. And technically, this is where he's really at. 16 for crossing, 18 for dribbling, 17 for first touch, 15 free kick, long shots 14, 15 passing, and 17 technique. This is hopefully going to prove to be an absolute steal, and for, I think it was £7.5 million, I think that could prove to be dirt cheap if he plays really well for us. So Deulofeu was in, and that was our final signing, and those are all the players we signed for Hull City. So in the end, we spent £44 million on these 10 deals. I don't think I did that good of a job, but one thing I should say is this. It's not a fact we had a lack of money here at the KCOM Stadium. We were given a £45 million budget for the new season, but a lot of players I offered contracts to just decided to go elsewhere. All right, everyone's still here? No one's dozed off? Everyone's still awake? Okay, good. Okay, so this is the squad then going into Season 2. As you can see, it's got thicker. It's got thicker than last year, which is really important, and I feel as though we've got a little bit more quality than last year as well. Not that much more, but a little bit more, and I'm very hopeful moving into Season 2 as well. Now, this is how pre-season went for us. We won all of our games but one, where we lost 2-0 to Dortmund at home. Every other game was a win against weaker opposition. And also as well, the team report and the depth I'll show you as well when I can remember where it is. Where are we? There we are. The depth of the team as well. This is how the squad currently looks in this regard. We've still got a lot more weaknesses than strengths, just like last year. Having said that, again, I still feel like the team has got slightly better than last season, and most importantly, what we've got is some more younger players with talent and potential, and that's what we needed. Last season, we didn't really have that. We've had to buy our own decent youngsters to come through. So yeah, I'm excited for Season 2. I think it's going to be extremely tough. As you can see, the new teams in the division are Reading, Brighton, and Newcastle. They came up from the Championship last season, and once again, our objectives are to fight bravely against relegation, which I think that is just such a patronising objective from the board and expectation. Fight bravely. Don't just fight, but fight bravely if you can, please. I mean, last season we were quite cowardice, so I can understand why they've put in bravely as opposed to just saying fight against relegation. But either way, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Once again, we will be one of the weakest teams in the division. There is absolutely no doubt about that. But I'm certainly hopeful that we can get ourselves in to a mid-table finish this year. But having said that, I will take just avoiding relegation. I will take avoiding relegation every day of the week. So I think that's it. I think that's all I'm supposed to show you, and I think we may as well just move straight into the first game of the episode. So if there's anything I'm forgetting to show you, do let me know in the comments, and if you follow me on Twitter, I'll show you a screenshot of whatever it is. So yeah, let's move straight into the first game of today's episode, the first and only game of today's episode, where hopefully you guys are still awake for it. We're taking on Manchester City. Now, last season, we beat these guys at home, and we drew with them away. Pep didn't really do too well against me last year, and I'm hoping we'll do quite well against him in Season 2 as well. Now, there will be 2 changes to what will most likely be our normal first 11 this year. This will most likely be our first 11 and bench for Season 2, but there will have to be a couple of changes due to injury suspensions and one player still on holiday. Deulofeu is currently injured. He got injured in pre-season. He's going to be out for a few days, and then Dye is going to miss the first 3 days due to an accumulation of yellow cards last season as he's suspended. So, this will be a team for the game then, 4-4-2. These are the the instructions once again, playing on counter and trying to hit teams on the break. And our lineup is this: Radkovic in goal, back four of Robertson, Maguire, Davies and Fulquier. Grosicki on the left, Ibe on the right, and in the middle Huddleston and Henriksen. Up top together Hernandez and Borja Baston, and on the bench Conor Ripley, Daniel Ayala, Odubajo, Adam, Mason, Snodgrass and Seferovic. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players in the squad that are new Hull City players, and I'm excited to see how they'll go on. So first game against City, I will take a draw. Let's see what we can do. Come on, Hull. Let's start off on the front foot, and just like last year, possibly get a win on the opening day. Man, I must be the most boring person to listen to. Do you know what I mean? I must be the most boring person to listen to. I have such a fetish of just talking about transfers for hours on end. It's just something I really like to do. I don't know why. It's just I just love talking about transfers, whether it's FIFA or in particular Football Manager. I love talking about signings, why I've signed the players and why I've bought them in and why I think they'll be good deals and whatnot, and what I plan to do with the players. Just something about it just makes me so happy. I don't know why, I just really enjoy doing it. Alright, so the game's on the way. We're 5 minutes in, and the first highlight is going to come here with Borja Baston losing a header. That's not a good start. As Sergio Aguero dances around a couple of shirts and gets into the area, goes down the right, crosses and picks out De Bruyne, and it's already 1-0. Worst possible start. Aguero with fancy footwork, great cross, and the Belgian puts City in front. We drop down to 19th place. This is something to expect throughout Season 2, I'm sure. Sergio Aguero, Mr. Twinkle Toes, dances around like 4 or 5 amber and black shirts, crosses the ball in, and there's a free volley in the centre for KDB. So 1-0 to the visitors. We already trail. It is the worst possible start. We could hit back instantly though. Robertson's cross dealt with by Fernandinho. Second one picks out Henriksen, and City should get the ball clear. And on the break, this could be very dangerous indeed. We'll have slowed the pace down, but still have the ball at feet here with Fernandinho playing it inside towards Ilkay Gundogan. And the former Dortmund man plays that wide towards Pablo Zabaleta, still at City in the game. Crosses, Aguero makes it 2. We are 7 minutes into the game. I should not have spent that money on Delafeu, Borja Baston and Jordan Ibe. I should have focused on what was clearly our weakest area. The centre-back role, the defence. Our defence was terrible last year. I think we were the second worst team defensively. All I've signed to our first team is Daniel Ayala, and clearly we're not good enough with this back line. It's nowhere near good enough to cope with these sort of attacks. We're already 2 goals down, and I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes free. Ilkay Gundogan to Sergio Aguero, gets around Davies, shoots blocked, De Bruyne free. 3-0. Oh my word. I mean, I thought my transfers weren't that bad. Evidently, they're terrible. Oh god, this is embarrassing. I mean, this is genuinely going to be humiliating. There's going to be an onslaught of goals in this game, I'm sure, for Manchester City. But Nat gets round his man and finds Ilkay Gundogan, and the German finds Aguero, who's tearing me apart in this game. Zabaleta on the ball, crosses to the middle. It is 4 for Manchester City. 15 minutes into the game, and almost not microphone over as well. It is 4-0 to Manchester City. Quarter of an hour in. Oh my word, we are going to get absolutely hammered this year. I've spent £44 million on Tat and Charlie Adam. What have I done? We have won ourselves a corner though after one headed clearance. And Maguire's headed in, gets in, it's 4-1. Is the epic comeback on? I mean, probably not, but we'll certainly take the goal anyway. Harry Maguire has scored his first whole goal. I'd rather him not score and be a much better defender, to be honest, and do his job, but we'll take it, I guess. He heads the ball in from Huddleston's corner, and it's 4-1. Now, there's a long way to go in the game, but I think that this deficit is going to be too much for us to get back from. But at least we scored. That's one positive. Well, this is just really, really bad. City are continuing to get chances, and we might have to play damage limitation in the second half because this is not looking good. However, there is a break on here. Hernandez down the left-hand side. We saw this a lot against City last season. Hernandez dragging players out of position, crosses. Borja Baston makes it 4-2. The comeback could well be on. It's his first goal for the club. He scored on his debut. Now my club record signing does not look as bad as it did pre-season. Hernandez assisting Borja Baston. I was expecting this to be the other way around this year, but we'll take it. The Spaniard has already scored a quarter of the goals he scored last season in the Premier League on his debut, and it's 4-2. So second half begins. We still trail by 2, but there's still time for us to get back in this game as Henriksen is on the ball. Plays that wide towards Jordan Ibe on his debut. Down his right, crosses. Henriksen, oh, Bravo saved. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Bravo made the save, but Henriksen turns in the rebound. We've not now just made this scoreline respectable. We've clawed our way back into this game. It's 4-3. We were 4-0 down 29 minutes in, I think. It's 4-3. What a game to start Season 2 off. Henriksen with the goal. 4-3. 33 minutes to go. Come on, Hull City. Now, I'm being completely honest here, I've played a lot of Football Manager over the years. I've been playing this game for over a decade, but I'll tell you this right now, if we come back from 4-0 down to get something from this game, this will be one of my best achievements ever, as Zabaleta crosses De Bruyne heads and it's 5-3. So, comeback probably now over. This is Season 1 all over again. We can't defend. We simply can't defend. We can score, but we can't defend. Kevin De Bruyne, second of the game, makes it 5-3. And the crazy thing is, even with just under half an hour to go, I still feel like there'll be more goals in this game. This is crazy. However, I think most goals will probably come to City, so that's not really an optimistic prediction, as Aguero has his man on his heels, goes inside and shoots and hits the side netting. That should have been 6, but fortunately, it goes the wrong side of the post. Still 5-3. We're still in this game, technically. Oh no, Rajkovic might have to come off, though. Now, that really is worrying. So 7 minutes to go, one more chance for City to get a 6th goal, which they've done so. Bernardo Silva has got on the end of an Aguero cross. There's been 9 goals in the season opener. Do going into this game, I was thinking, I really hope there's not too much to report, because this is going to be a super long episode of Football Manager. There's been 9 goals, and there's still 7 minutes to go. This is mental. Well, at least we injured Aguero, so if you can't stop them, injure them. A bit like the Warriors with Kawhi Leonard. But 6-3 the final score. We got battered. Although, to be fair, the one thing I should say is that we were 4-0 down and we managed to make it 4-2 at one point. So 4-3. It was 4-3, wasn't it? So we actually got ourselves back into the game. But I still will say I'm not happy with the performance. We'll motivate the players. And defensively, I'm very worried because we have not improved this defense at all. I've signed Daniel Ayala, who didn't even play. I mean, that should have been evidence enough. We're not ready for this year, defensively speaking. Then we concede 6 goals in one game. Yeah, this is this could well be a very long season for Hull City. But we'll end the episode there because this is going to be a super long episode. Thank you very much for watching the season opener of the Football Manager series, guys. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you did enjoy the transfer special and the first day hammering, then please do consider leaving a like, as likes are, of course, very much appreciated, and they really help the channel out as well. Much love to you all. Enjoy your Sunday, and I'll see you for next episode in the Football Manager series very soon, where I expect to see more games like that one, I'm sure. And in the second episode, we shall play... What should we come back for? Do you know what? I think we might be in a relegation scrap this year again. Well, I'm pretty sure we will be. So we'll come back for the first 2 games outside the transfer window, Burnley and Brighton. I think those are going to be 2 massive games, and I'll see you for those in the next episode. So thanks for watching, have a fantastic Sunday, and I'll see you for the next episode in my Football Manager series very soon. Bye.